Right.
don't celebrate because you're failing, but also like look at it and go, hey, wait a minute, this is where I'm learning from. And like you said, man, sometimes you get these athletes that are just unicorns and they don't fail until they get to college, and then all of a sudden they hit that brick wall and they don't know how to overcome that. So
Hmm.
you as
Yeah.
a as an athlete, I mean, you can attest to that, I'm sure.
Yeah. And also, um, like a message to parents is the messaging we give out to our kids is also important. Like, I'm not a parent, obviously, and there's no perfect way to parenting. I've thought a lot about it, just like what would I do for my kid as an athlete?
Mhm.
But something that I would recommend is just complimenting and reinforcing the adjustments and the effort to get better or change from failure.
Mhm.
A lot of times, parents only praise the home runs, the straight A's, instead of the getting the B up to the A, the process of, like I said, pulling one to the left side and then next at bat. Like, I love how you adjusted and you were trying to make that adjustment and you hit it to right field. And although right field wasn't where you wanted to hit it, you made that adjustment. And I love your effort in doing that. And I think that's something, I think if parents implemented that a lot, it would help with the process over outcome.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I mean, you are the athlete that I mean, I see you on social media and you are constantly grinding through athletics. I mean, you pay particular attention to working out and you're active and that kind of stuff. Talk about that with athletes that just need to be more active today, because once you get to that college game, if that's your goal, man, you have got to come in better shape than you're going in it.
Yeah. And as much as like, I think I was in shape going into college as well, it's
Mhm.
a completely it's a huge jump. Um, the way your body feels is comparable to no other feeling. And I think if I hadn't been in such good shape going into college, I would have had that burnout, that fatigue. Like, I mean, fatigue was just my middle name at that point, but there's a lot of people that get to college and they can't keep up.
Mhm.
And so I definitely recommend, like, as high school athletes wanting to play college, you got to get used to the grind. And while there's a happy medium there, between grinding and also giving yourself time off, you have to get used to putting yourself under that intensity, that load. It'll also help prevent, I mean, doing it the right way will help prevent injuries in the future. So while I want you to go out and throw extra, hit extra, I also want you to warm up properly,
Mhm.
to J band before you throw. That's something I wish I had access to as a kid. Like, just J banding, it decreases your risk of injury, and I recommend it for everyone. But being able to go and work out is also a huge key. A lot of kids come into college and they don't know how to do a squat. And sometimes it's not their fault. Like, sometimes you just don't have access to a strength coach. But if you can get access to a strength coach or a personal trainer, sometimes the investment is worth it. And hopefully your school has one. But I think that is also important because then the strength coach has to digress and teach you how to build things from the bottom up. And whereas I came into college, I knew how to lift. I got to lift with the upperclassmen, and some of the freshmen just had to do the whole progressive learning process. And it definitely puts you ahead.
And like you said, I think that falls onto the parents a little bit about don't just promote the good plays, promote the grind that goes with that, promoting the schoolwork, the study hours, the time management, the getting out and lifting. You know, some parents could use that too. Use that as a time to bond with your athlete. If we're just going out for a walk, maybe we're running sprints together.
Mhm.
Maybe mom or dad are teaching you the basics of lifting and that kind of stuff. I think that could key on something for some of these athletes that don't have access to that strength and conditioning
Oh,
coach.
yeah, for sure. And
You
also, there's so many resources nowadays. Look
Mhm.
it up. Like, YouTube has so many videos on lifting, and you don't even have to have weights to do it.
Yeah.
Body weight stuff, learning proper form. If you want it, you can get it for free. The TikTok has so many different influencers like teaching you how to do all the different things. And it's a good skill to have. So if you want it enough, you're gonna have to put in the work for it.
Yeah. It's I learned it way back in in the day when I was in the Marine Corps, as the
Mhm.
squeaky wheel always gets the grease. So I mean, if you want it bad enough, you'll go get it. But if you
Yeah.
just want to play the part and act like you want it, it shows up over time. You can act like you want to be a college athlete all you want to and talk, say the right things and this and that. But man, once it's time to show up and you can't show up because you don't know how, that's on you as the athlete.
The idea of being a college athlete is really appealing to people,
Yeah.
and everyone wants to have that Division I college athlete in their bio,
Yeah.
but not everyone wants to put in the work to get there.
Right.
And it shows once people get into college. Um, it sounds great, and people look up to athletes and they think sometimes they're superhuman, and sometimes I feel like we are with the things we do,
Hmm.
but it is not easy, and nor is it pretty. Everyone sees the Cinderella story, but they just look at the glass slippers. They don't see when Cinderella was once cleaning the floors and stuff. They see the end result, and it's really appealing, but not everyone understands the work that goes into it. So that's also something I try to teach the girls that I mentor and I give hitting lessons to, is it's a grind. But
Yeah.
also on that note, like the ability to take a day off for yourself is also a skill. It's something that I just learned this year. The Your body will tell you when it wants to stop, and being able to listen to your body is huge. And also just mentally reset, because the game is so mental and it can be so draining. And being able to find worth in something outside of the sport is my biggest life lesson.
Yeah.